5 growth principles. Focus is what is your superpower. 20% thing that'll get the 80% result. You have to put the market first. It's to actually build a product for a market that exists. Hi, I'm Jihad. And I'm a fractional CTO, head of product, and an investor in over a dozen startups. One of the most important things is putting the market first. It's not about your product. It's not about the technology or how much AI you use or even how much you think that it solves your specific problem alone. It is about how you can solve a problem at scale. Now, it's fine to start solving a problem for yourself first. We know ourselves as the best customer, but we have to think about broadly what the market wants. So a fundamental principle of being able to achieve growth is that you have to put the market first. The goal is not to find a market, it's to actually build a product for a market that exists. So here are the 5 growth principles. First, and probably the most important, focus is key. To establish real traction, you have to be laser focused in solving the problem for your customers and not trying to do too many things. A startup by definition is lean. You're having to be careful about where you're allocating your resources and your capital, and you need to be laser focused on what's the greatest thing, what is the 20% thing that'll get the 80% results, and you want to focus and double and triple and quadruple down on that. This focus is what is your superpower. This is what allows you to move quickly and do 10x better than what your competitors are doing or larger companies are doing at scale. What you can do by focusing is focusing on your core capabilities and solving problems in such a way that people cannot ignore you, even if there's better alternatives and even if those options were more expensive. You must concentrate on the growth channels you have the highest percentage likelihood of being successful. You have to think about what are the channels you can afford, but also the channels where your customers are in, and be able to double down, triple down on those channels. Second growth principle, try fewer channels to get concentrated growth. This means that you should really be careful about how many channels in which you're marketing to ensure that you can focus ones that matter the most and you have the most likelihood of succeeding and doing that incredibly well. Most people can't do a lot of channels, even less than doing multiple channels at once. So what's important is you focus on 1 or 2 really key channels and you develop as much of a presence on to get your customers. If you don't get the response you're hoping for despite that, then move on to the next one. But what you will guarantee is that you won't get enough quality data points if you do too many at once. Growth principle number 3, growth is learning. As you get feedback, as you get the data, you have to establish a loop that validates as early as possible which direction you need to be heading in. You do not have the luxury of just exploring for too long. If you have a limited runway, you need to find out as quickly as possible what is the critical path to get you where you want to go. A good growth strategy emphasizes feedback loops. Ultimately, you're not going to get all the data points you need up front. What you do is you launch your experiments and you find ways to collect relevant data, customer interviews, and feature feedback, and that lets you know, am I going in the right direction? That needs to be as many times as possible, continuously. Growth principle 4, leverage compounds. The fact of the matter is you have very few resources. You're not going to be able to do unlimited things. What you want to focus on is what is going to get the greatest ROI. What is going to be the highest leverage? If you put a little investment or a little force in here, you're getting much more outcomes. And what happens is that business owners often feel so overwhelmed that they're doing so many things, and yet they're not getting the results that they want. But the reality is 90% of what they're doing is really not giving them any return on investment, or it's giving so little that it's actually not moving the needle forward. What you'll find is that in your business, in your SaaS business for your customers or for anything else that you're building, majority of the results are coming from a smaller set of actions, of inputs. And so you want to find those actions, inputs, the features, the use cases that are gonna actually drive the most results and be laser focused on building around those use cases. Leverage is what allows small companies to create massive impact. So if you want to create maximum leverage, you have to find a way to turn your knowledge into growth in your growth into leverage. Only focus on high leverage activities. Do not waste your time building random things. Find a way and be smart about what you're investing into so you can make sure you get the highest outcomes. The fifth principle is a little bit more advanced, and this is related to the staircase of growth. Usually, your business model is going to be only able to expand to a certain channel that you are occupying. And what happens is that if you need to go up another staircase, you will need to actually update your business model to handle that increased level of growth.
If you don't want to miss the next videos, make sure you subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so you get notified of future uploads.